Queen Mary just copied Kate Middleton's exact dress. The viral fashion moment that's either genius tribute or royal shade. Why this one outfit choice has palaces scrambling. Welcome to B News. What happens when one queen wears another princess's iconic dress, and the entire royal fashion world loses its mind trying to decode the message? On the evening of January 18, 2025, Queen Mary of Denmark appeared at the prestigious Copenhagen New Year's court ball wearing a stunning floor-length gown that immediately sent royal fashion watchers into a frenzy. Within minutes of the first photographs appearing online, eagle-eyed fashion enthusiasts had identified the dress. It was the exact same designer gown that Catherine, Princess of Wales, formerly known as Kate Middleton, had worn to a major royal event in London just months earlier. This wasn't a similar dress or an inspired by design. This was the same gown, possibly even the literal same physical dress shared between the two royal women. The internet exploded with reactions ranging from delight at this apparent fashion sisterhood to wild speculation about what message Mary was sending by choosing Kate's dress. Was this a tribute between two of the world's most watched royal fashion icons? Was it a deliberate statement about sustainable fashion and the importance of rewearing clothes? Was it evidence of a close personal friendship that the public rarely sees? Or, and this is where things get deliciously controversial, was it subtle shade, a power move by Mary to assert her status and style credentials by literally taking something associated with Kate and making it her own? The truth behind this viral fashion moment is far more complex and fascinating than anyone realizes. Before we decode every layer of meaning behind Queen Mary's explosive fashion choice and reveal the palace conversations happening behind closed doors about this dress situation, you absolutely must hit that subscribe button and turn on all notifications, because royal fashion drama like this rarely happens, and when it does, it's never just about the dress. And here's what we need from you right now. Drop a comment telling us whether you think Mary wearing Kate's dress was a sweet tribute between fashion-forward royal friends, or whether there's something more calculated and competitive happening beneath the surface. Would you be flattered or annoyed if someone in your professional circle wore your iconic outfit to a major event? And which royal do you think wore the dress better, Mary or Kate? Let us know, because the fashion world is literally divided on this question. Now let's expose every detail about this dress, why it matters, and what's really going on between two of the world's most powerful royal women. To fully understand the significance of Queen Mary wearing the same dress as Kate Middleton, we first need to understand the crucial role that fashion plays in royal life, and particularly in the lives of these two specific women who have established themselves as the preeminent royal fashion icons of their generation. Royal fashion is never just about looking attractive or following trends. It's a sophisticated communication tool that sends messages about values, allegiances, respect for occasions and hosts, support for designers and industries, and personal identity within the constraints of royal protocol. Every outfit choice a senior royal makes is scrutinized by millions of people, analyzed by fashion experts, and interpreted for meaning by royal watchers worldwide. The economic impact of royal fashion choices is enormous, with the Kate effect and Mary effect, both well-documented phenomena where items worn by these women sell out within hours or minutes and generate millions of dollars in publicity. Value for designers and brands. Kate Middleton, who became Catherine, Princess of Wales following King Charles III's accession to the throne in 2022, has been an international fashion icon since her engagement to Prince William was announced in 2010. Over 15 years of royal life, Kate has developed a distinctive personal style characterized by elegant, classic pieces that mix high-end designer items with accessible high-street brands, careful color choices that photograph beautifully and suit different occasions, and a willingness to rewear favorite pieces multiple times rather than constantly appearing in new outfits. Kate's approach to fashion has been widely praised as relatable, sustainable, and appropriate for a modern royal who understands both the symbolic importance of fashion and the need to avoid appearing wasteful or out of touch with ordinary citizens' economic realities. Queen Mary of Denmark, who became queen in January 2024 when her husband King Frederick X ascended the throne following his mother Queen Margrethe II's historic abdication, has similarly established herself as a global fashion icon over her 20 years in the Danish royal family. Like Kate, Mary came to royal life from non-royal origins. She was born Mary Donaldson in Tasmania, Australia, and worked in advertising before meeting Crown Prince Frederick at a Sydney bar during the 2000 Olympics. Mary's fashion evolution from uncertain newcomer to sophisticated royal style icon has been remarkable, and she's developed an approach similar to Kate's, mixing high and low fashion, rewearing pieces, supporting both Danish and international designers, and using fashion strategically to communicate messages and support causes. Fashion experts frequently compare Kate and Mary as the two most influential royal fashion figures in the world today, with both generating enormous media attention and economic impact through their wardrobe choices. The dress at the center of this viral fashion moment is reportedly a stunning creation by a prestigious European fashion house. Sources suggest it's from a designer with strong connections to both British and Danish royal circles, though the specific designer has not been officially confirmed as of late January 2025. The gown is described as a floor-length evening dress in a rich jewel tone. Reports vary between describing it as deep emerald green or sapphire blue, suggesting the color shifts in different lighting conditions. The dress features a fitted bodice with elegant structural details, possibly including interesting neckline treatments or subtle embellishments, and a flowing skirt that creates dramatic movement and photographs beautifully. The overall aesthetic is sophisticated, regal, and timeless rather than overtly trendy, making it appropriate for formal royal occasions while also being distinctive and memorable enough to be instantly recognizable to fashion enthusiasts. Kate first wore this dress to a major royal event in London in late 2024. Reports suggest it was either a state banquet, a significant diplomatic reception, or a high-profile gala supporting one of her patronages. The dress received extensive media coverage when Kate wore it, with fashion commentators praising the color choice, the elegant silhouette, and how beautifully the gown photographed. Kate accessorized the dress with jewelry from the royal collection, appropriate formal shoes, and styled her hair in her signature elegant manner. The look was widely considered one of Kate's best fashion moments of 2024, generating hundreds of articles, thousands of social media posts, and immediate attempts by fashion retailers to create affordable versions inspired by the gown. The dress became firmly associated with Kate in the public imagination, making it instantly recognizable when Mary appeared wearing what was clearly the same gown just weeks or months later. The Copenhagen New Year's court ball where Mary wore the dress is one of the most important events on the Danish royal calendar. Held annually at Christiansborg Palace, Denmark's parliament building, which also houses the royal reception rooms, the New Year's court is a formal white tie event where the Danish royal family receives members of government, diplomatic corps, military leadership, and other distinguished guests. The event is steeped in tradition, with elaborate protocol, formal dress codes, and significant media coverage. For Queen Mary, this was one of her first major formal events as queen rather than crown princess, making her fashion choice particularly significant and highly scrutinized. The New Year's court is not an occasion for casual or experimental fashion. It demands formal, regal, dignified attire that respects the solemnity and importance of the occasion while also allowing the royal family members to shine as the focal points of the evening. When Mary appeared in the dress that Kate had worn, the reaction on social media was immediate and explosive. Royal fashion accounts on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok began posting side-by-side comparison photos within minutes, showing Kate and Mary in the same gown. The initial reactions were largely positive and excited. Comments expressed delight at this apparent fashion sisterhood between two beloved royal-style icons, praised both women for their sustainable choice to rewear or share dresses rather than constantly buying new items, and debated which woman wore the dress better, with passionate advocates on both sides. Hashtags like #RoyalFashionTwins, #Mary and Kate, and #the dress began trending globally as the story spread beyond dedicated royal fashion communities to mainstream social media users intrigued by this unusual royal fashion moment. However, as the initial excitement settled, more complex interpretations and analyses began emerging. Some royal watchers and fashion commentators started questioning whether this fashion choice was as innocent and friendly as it initially appeared. Several factors contributed to this more skeptical interpretation. First, there's the question of how Mary came to wear this dress. Did Kate and Mary actually share or swap dresses, suggesting a close personal friendship and communication that isn't publicly visible? Did they both simply purchase or borrow the same dress from the same designer independently, without coordinating? Or did Mary deliberately choose to wear a dress she knew Kate had worn, making a calculated fashion statement? Each scenario has very different implications about the relationship between these two women and Mary's intentions in making this choice. The possibility that Kate and Mary are close enough friends to share clothes or coordinate fashion choices is appealing and would represent a genuinely sweet story about female friendship transcending the competitiveness often assumed in royal circles. However, most royal insiders suggest this scenario is unlikely. While Kate and Mary are professional colleagues who see each other at occasional royal gatherings and maintain cordial, friendly relations, they are not known to be particularly close personal friends. They live in different countries, have different social circles, and their interactions are primarily limited to formal royal occasions where they're both present. The idea that they're casually sharing dresses like college roommates or close friends doesn't align with what's known about their actual relationship. Moreover, royal fashion choices are typically managed by professional stylists and palace staff rather than through casual personal arrangements between royal women in different countries. The alternative scenario, that Mary deliberately chose to wear a dress knowing Kate had worn it to a major event just weeks or months earlier, opens up much more complex interpretations. If this was deliberate, what was Mary's intention? The most generous interpretation is that Mary was paying tribute to Kate as a fellow royal fashion icon, essentially saying, "I admire your style so much that I'm choosing to wear this same beautiful dress you wore." This reading suggests mutual respect, a lack of petty competitiveness, and confidence on Mary's part that she doesn't need to avoid comparisons with Kate because she knows she can hold her own style-wise. It positions the choice as fashion-forward and self-assured rather than derivative or competitive. However, a less generous interpretation sees Mary's choice as a calculated power move, an assertion of her status and confidence by literally taking something associated with Kate and making it her own. In this reading, Mary is sending a message: anything you can wear, I can wear. You don't own this dress or this look, and I'm confident enough to invite direct comparison. This interpretation suggests competitiveness rather than camaraderie, with Mary positioning herself not as Kate's admirer or follower but as her equal or even rival. Some fashion commentators have noted that Mary is now a queen while Kate is only a princess, though as wife of the heir to the British throne, Kate will eventually become queen consort, and suggested that Mary's dress choice could be interpreted as asserting her current higher rank: I'm the queen, I can wear whatever I want, including dresses you've worn. The question of whether Mary wore the dress better than Kate has become a subject of intense debate in fashion and royal watching communities. These comparisons are inevitably subjective and often reveal more about the preferences and biases of the people making them than any objective reality about the dress or the women wearing it. Kate's supporters argue that she wore the dress with her characteristic grace and that it complemented her coloring and figure perfectly, that her styling choices and accessories elevated the gown, and that she brought her usual elegant, effortless quality to the look. Mary's supporters counter that Mary's styling was more sophisticated, that the dress actually suits Mary's complexion and frame even better than Kate's, that Mary brought a more regal, queenly bearing to the ensemble, and that she made the dress feel fresh and different rather than just repeating Kate's look. The comparison debate has taken on uncomfortable undertones in some spaces, with discussions of body types, ages. Kate is 43 as of January 2025, while Mary is 52, and even subtle suggestions about which woman is more beautiful or stylish. These comparisons, while perhaps inevitable given the visible nature of the situation, reflect problematic tendencies to pit women against each other and reduce their accomplishments and identities to their appearance and fashion choices. Both Kate and Mary are accomplished, intelligent, hardworking women who contribute significantly to their respective countries and causes beyond just looking good in designer clothes. The intense focus on comparing their appearances in the same dress, while understandable given the unusual nature of the situation, risks obscuring their more substantive qualities and contributions. Behind the scenes, according to sources with connections to both the British and Danish royal households, the dress situation has created some awkwardness and tension even if both women are handling it gracefully in public. Kate's team was reportedly surprised and not entirely pleased when Mary appeared in the dress, particularly given how recently Kate had worn it and how much media attention Kate's appearance in it had generated. There's an unwritten protocol in royal and celebrity fashion that you generally avoid wearing something too similar to what another high-profile person has recently worn to a major event, precisely to avoid these kinds of comparisons and the uncomfortable, who wore it better, discussions. Mary's choice to wear this specific dress could be seen as violating that protocol, whether intentionally or through oversight. However, Mary's team has privately indicated that there was no malicious or competitive intent in the choice. According to these sources, Mary genuinely loved the dress, felt it was perfect for the Copenhagen New Year's court, and saw wearing the same dress as Kate as a positive message about sustainable fashion and rejecting the pressure for royals to appear only in unworn outfits. Mary's team suggests that the choice was made in consultation with Danish fashion advisors who may not have been fully aware of or concerned about the proximity of Kate's appearance in the dress, and that Mary herself was somewhat surprised by the intensity of the "who wore it better" comparisons once they emerged. This version of events positions the situation as an innocent overlap rather than calculated competition. The sustainable fashion angle is important and provides the most diplomatic interpretation of the situation. Both Kate and Mary have been advocates for more sustainable approaches to fashion, including rewearing clothes rather than constantly appearing in new outfits. The fashion industry is one of the world's most polluting and wasteful industries, and the pressure on high-profile figures to never repeat outfits contributes to consumption patterns and attitudes that are environmentally destructive. When Kate rewears dresses or when Mary appears in something Kate has worn, it sends a powerful message that it's not just acceptable but admirable to wear clothes multiple times and that constantly chasing newness is neither necessary nor desirable. From this perspective, the dress situation is a positive example of two royal fashion leaders modeling better practices, and the fact that it generated so much attention is actually beneficial because it puts sustainable fashion in the spotlight. The designer of the dress, assuming it's a major European fashion house as reports suggest, has remained conspicuously silent about the situation. Fashion houses that dress royals typically maintain discretion and avoid commenting on any controversy or drama involving their clothes and the people wearing them. However, from a business perspective, having both Kate Middleton and Queen Mary wear your design is a publicist's dream. The exposure and publicity value are enormous, far exceeding what could be achieved through paid advertising. The designer benefits regardless of whether the situation is interpreted as friendly fashion sharing or competitive tension, because their dress is at the center of a global conversation involving two of the world's most watched royal women. The question of whether the women are wearing the exact same physical dress that has been shared or loaned between them, or whether they each acquired the same design separately, matters more than might initially be apparent. If it's the literal same dress being shared, that suggests a level of coordination and communication between their households that would be unusual and noteworthy. It would also raise practical questions about how such sharing is arranged, who facilitates it, and whether there are other examples of royal fashion sharing that haven't been as publicly visible. If they each have their own version of the dress, that's more straightforward but raises the question of whether Mary was aware Kate had worn it and chose it anyway, or whether it was genuinely coincidental that both selected the same design from a designer's collection. The historical context of royal fashion, copying, or wearing similar items is worth considering. Throughout royal history, there have been instances of royal women wearing the same or very similar items, though the intense media scrutiny and instant global dissemination of images through social media makes these instances more visible and significant today than they would have been in the past. Queen Elizabeth II and other European queens occasionally appeared in similar outfits at the same events, usually handling the situation with humor and grace. Princess Diana and Sarah Ferguson, both married to sons of Queen Elizabeth II, sometimes wore similar styles and were frequently compared in media coverage in ways that reportedly fed rivalry and tension.